Number 3 on the docket in the matter of Ritchie E. Stanley, Department of Public Safety and Corrections, Office of State Police, docket number 16-227-S, settlement proposal. Do we have anyone here today to speak on this?
We have the original settlement agreement for signature. I don't know if you want me to read it or if you want Mr. Falcon to come and explain it.
I got a question. This is the first I've heard that. I mean, these settlement agreements, we don't get them before to look at them. I read what the colonel
Ms. Server, did you send the settlement agreement to
I just got that today.
the proposed when it happened?
Yes, the proposed
Yeah.
one I did.
She forwarded it, I guess a couple of weeks ago to the commissioners.
So the colonel do his deal, and then they go back and do a settlement deal that's different from what the colonel and the superintendent does. So I guess I'm kind of confused a little bit there. I'm voting to do, but I don't know what these guys did or whether I don't know.
Well, I think you want Mr. Falcon to explain what they did? I think that might help.
It looked like it would be to come up and, I guess, bring all parties up and talk about it, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be the one that's on the left out like a crazy, but he's selling the deal. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy for not reading it, but I don't know what the guy did and what the agreement. That's my fault. But it won't happen. Yeah, I don't understand it. Anyway.
If you don't mind, would you have Mr. Falcon come up and address the commission?
Mr. Falcon?
Is it in his pack? Is it in his booklet here?
I assume it is. I just was handed the original today.
It seemed like we would get the original early enough where we can look at the original, because the copy one tells you one thing and the original one might tell you something else. I don't know what could change in the time of, I'm not a lawyer, but I've seen where things happen today and change tomorrow.
It is in your booklet,
okay,
under number 3.
Number 3. I forgive for being stupid. I'm just trying to.
I'll pass these around.
Good morning, my name is Michelle Rohr, and I'm the attorney for the appointing authority in this case. Is Mr. Braxton, the original and the proposed are exactly the same, just because of executing the documents, getting them circulated to the parties. That's why you didn't have the original before this morning, but the agreement is exactly the same as what was forwarded to you before.
And I think some of the concern that's being expressed is that maybe Mr. Braxton is concerned we don't have enough of the facts of what the underlying facts upon which to evaluate the settlement, if I understood correct.
I mean, this thing involves the sheriff's department. I mean, I see what the colonel says, but I think he's right. I mean, I don't know all the facts. I mean, the facts is, do we deserve it or do we don't deserve it? Why would I change different from what the colonel made the decision to do this? And that's what him and decided to do. Then we come here and we change what the colonel said to do. Are we disrespecting the colonel? I mean, why don't we, I'm just curious.
I represent the colonel as the appointing authority in this matter, and when the appeal was filed and the parties negotiated, this is what the colonel agreed to at this point. For reasons that come out during preparing for the case for appeal, there are times when we may agree to something different than what was originally implemented, and the colonel has agreed to this settlement. I'm presenting it on his behalf.
He's saying, okay, I'm okay.
So the colonels go with it and the employees go with it. That's the nature of the settlement, correct?
That's the nature of the settlement, Mr. Chairman. When a disciplinary action is filed, those are just simply allegations.
Yes, sir.
Just like when a lawsuit is filed, those are allegations, there's no proof. As we get into the thing, we do some fairly extensive discovery, exchange of documentation and so forth. We meet and we discuss. One of the things we meet and discuss is, can we reach some stipulations as to what the facts are? This case, we have no stipulations because the nature of the case, they had a whole lot of witnesses. This was probably going to be maybe a 2-day trial. It fairly complex set of facts. we were in substantial disagreement as to what facts would come out before this hearing. In every case, we always have discussions about the possibility of resolving the case without the necessity of having an appeal. And we came to an agreement through actually over a period of several weeks, or maybe a month, been a couple of months of negotiations back and forth, and we ultimately settled on 60 hours as being adequate for his not completing an investigation in accordance with the expectations of the department. He did not do a good job in completing the investigation. This involved, so you know, it involves an investigation of a sheriff deputy who was involved or allegedly involved in a hit and run. Very little evidence of any contact in the hit and run. The deputy then proceeded to his house where it appears that there was substantial disagreement between that deputy, and he was a lieutenant with the sheriff's office, that deputy and other supervisory people in the sheriff's office. They had apparently, this is just my take on the thing, apparently two factions in that sheriff's office, and you got two completely different stories. So we were going to have a lot of differing testimony before this board, and Ms. Joe and myself, negotiated a possibility of settling the matter, and we agreed to settle it. The colonel signed off on it, was happy with it, and thought it served the needs of the Office of State Police. And my man took a hit. I wasn't real happy with the hit he took, but you know, that's the nature of compromise.
And I'm for you, State Police, but I guess one other question I gotta ask: if you'd had this information before, your man never would have took a hit. He'd been off the hook. I'm just saying, if all the information that was gathered the first time and presented to the colonel, your guy would never be. He wouldn't even be in it.
Yeah, we don't get it until we file. The way the procedure works, we file an appeal. We don't get all of the information, internal affairs reports, the statements, and so forth until such time as we file an appeal. The matter set for hearing. You don't have discovery like you do in a civil case before this commission. Fortunately, they give it to me before. I subpoena it when it's sent to trial, and generally speaking, a week or so before they'll give it to us. So we don't get over here and have, in this case, we had a stack of videos and DVD statements and stuff, but a stack of paper this high. If we did it like they do at the State Civil Service Commission, often get it on the morning of the trial, which is a disaster. Because, for instance, in this case, it wouldn't be fair to y'all if they present 6 inches of paper to me and I take 3 hours to read it while y'all sitting around waiting. So that in that regard, years ago, we agreed to try and exchange documents in advance because it makes no sense for us, everybody to be looking at it for the first time on the day of the trial. And that's how the rules provide. There's no pre-trial, per se, discovery. We only have the right to obtain information through subpoenas. When I give them the subpoena, they usually give me the documents, and that the whole idea, and it's mutually beneficial because we can often work out, we have a meeting with Ms. Feeney sometimes at her office, and we work out a set of stipulations and try and synthesize what's going to have to come before y'all, as opposed to taking 6 or 8 hours to present something. We try and present it to where y'all can make a decision. I mean, I like to keep them down to 3 or 4 hours if I can, because I think I worry about losing people after that amount of time.
Was you trying to say we have a short attention span?
Well, I think y'all all business people and all have other things besides this, and You know, let me tell you what's happened in the past. You have one-day meetings a month. And in the past, I've had cases where it's taken 2 or 3 days to try the case. And we would have them one day at a time over 3 months. You talk about a disaster. It's certainly a disaster for me because I got to go back and read everything and re-prepare each 3 times. You know, you don't have 3 days of trial or 2 days of trial. So we try and work together to try and simplify things and agree on the things that are really not in dispute. This particular case, everything was in dispute.
Mr. Braxton, for your information though, when Mr. Falcon filed the appeal, he attached a copy of the disciplinary letter that was served on the employee. And going through all those facts that are stated in there is what the agency has to prove. As we stated in paragraph 1 of the settlement agreement, the only thing that changed in that final letter is we took out the 1 violation of conduct unbecoming and changed the penalty. But everything that was in the original letter has remained the same.
Thank you, David.
Everybody satisfied? Do we have any motions?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries.